Deathpixie disclaimer. This video was originally recorded in September 2024. There is swearing and profanity. Sources are listed in the description. This video is not monetized. Any ads you see provide revenue to the hosting site, not the creators. If you made it this far, geez, you have a lot of patience.
Deathpixie dancing on the lip of madness!
Welcome to Shitty PowerPoint Theater. Dignity not included.
Hello everybody, we're back!
Hello, everybody.
So this is actually a bonus episode of our How to Get Elected in Canada. So full disclosure, How to Get Elected in Canada was recorded in September and October of 2024.
Yes.
A US
Since then, a lot of things have happened. We're not going to say what.
But we're deeply concerned about the things that have happened.
Exactly, and the things that are happening up here. I don't know if you saw the news yesterday, but by the time this comes out, this will be like 2 months out. Christina Freeland, Justintrudeau's finance minister, has just resigned because she was unable to keep a budget. And see, on top of that, we need COVID Trudeau energy, and it's just not there.
It isn't, and it's upsetting.
So I am on the floor now. Pandemonium has struck. Bodies are everywhere. And all I can think is, we need a hero. We need a hero. Now, whether that hero is a member of another party, or whether that hero is COVID Trudeau, complete with beard and sexy hair flip, remains to be seen.
Yeah,
However, I will tell you, it is definite hell over here.
Yeah. Also, like, the, PP, or Polly Pocket, or whatever you want to call him, because, you know, the stuff that the Christo-fascist love child has said blatantly goes against the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. And
just a couple of things. Just a couple of things.
And we personally feel if you're going to blatantly go against people's inalienable rights in this country, guess what? We don't have to pronounce your name correctly. Screw you,
PP.
that's why. Yeah.
Polly Pocket.
Exactly.
I like PP better. What he has done is an insult to Polly Pocket. She was a fashion icon for little girls everywhere.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like dragging her name through the mud.
But what I do want to say, though, is, so we are recording this and releasing it at holiday time, specifically around Christmas time, and I bet you're wondering, why now? I mean, obviously, I'm dressed up.
Well, because
Crabsworth is live from the floor, but I'll tell you why. Let us ruin family dinner for you. This is something that you can play at family dinner. Just put it on in the background, you know? And eventually people will start noticing what we're saying.
Girl, I am liking this plan.
Yeah, and they're gonna start arguing. And guess what? You didn't have to get involved. You didn't have to get involved in any of it. You don't have to state your political opinions. You can just start shit and watch the world burn over a nice turkey dinner.
And the best part is, if you share a view that is contrarian to ours, you can still put this on and have a uniting front with your family over how much you hate us. It works for everyone! It is our Christmas gift to you! Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwasi Kwanzaa, Tip Top Tat, Solemn Dignified Ramadan, and I'm so happy holidays to everyone else. This is our gift to you. Hallelujah!
Also, shout out to Bing AI. That's where I generated these images from, and I think they are A+. I think these are some...
See, I wasn't with you, and then you showed off the unicorns looking stylish, and I'm like, you know what? These are my people. I'm fine with this. I'm fine with this.
Groovy. They're
Yeah,
pretty groovy.
exactly.
Here, let's get the laser pointer on. They're pretty groovy. Now then. So, some stuff has happened. COVID Trudeau is gone, which we all have agreed is the sexiest of the Trudeaus. We don't care where you are on the political spectrum.
It's not even close. Just admit that he's the sexiest thing since sliced bread for politicians.
Yeah, COVID Trudeau. We also have the NDP who decided to, go against the core fundamentals of their platform and endorse the Conservatives, which, like I said, are led by a Christo-fascist love child.
Jack Layton would be a little, spitting in his grave a little bit over what they've done. And hey, if the NDP, who has historically never been able to secure a majority, really wants to secure a majority, hey, all power to them. That is the best move they could have made. Unless, it doesn't work.
Which I doubt it's going to, especially considering you just alienated a bunch of your voter base by siding with the far right. So they're not progressive conservatives anymore.
The sad part is they're not even far right. Like they are, yeah. No. If you want to go far right, let's go People's Party of Canada.
Oh God.
They got the same track record of NDP as getting people in there. So
yeah. Anyway, to us, the world is falling down around us. So regardless,
falling down for you, baby. I'm already on the ground.
Yeah. Which is why Crabsworth is reporting from the floor. But let's go back. We have some solutions to this problem. And one of it is, let's bring back COVID Trudeau. We remember the infamous, hand through the hair moment that made all the Canadians go crazy. Then he let things grow out a little longer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Look at
that. Yeah.
Yeah, like, that is peak Trudeau. And is the sexiest of the Trudeaus. But let's also talk about, what he brought. He spoke down to the prime ministers, to premiers. He spoke down to them. Like, that's what we need. We need that energy.
Man, he just didn't care. Yummy.
He didn't care. He's like, look, guys, either you take charge of COVID in your province, or we're going to have to institute the Emergency Measures Act and get the military in there. You decide. There was a brilliant clip of him in Parliament where the opposition made some very homophobic comments, and he called them out on it. We want that energy back. We need more of that energy. We know that during COVID, he was doing behind the scenes shade. We want that, but in the press.
I'm sorry, can you imagine big dick energy on a world stage?
It'd be amazing. We want the big dick energy.
I openly admit, I have never voted for Trudeau.
Yeah.
But 2020 COVID Trudeau, I would vote for that, man. Big dick energy was doing what needed to be done. Now, I think currently our Parliament is seeming to forget that what he needed to do caused unforeseen consequences, or would cause unforeseen consequence, much like Canadians are doing. But at that time, when all the chips were down, we could count on COVID, sexy ass, big dick energy, Justintrudeau. Do you want to know what we need to get out of this? COVID, sexy ass, big dick energy, Justintrudeau. Mm-hmm. This is a man who could stand up to Donald Trump and make him admit to his felonies.
Exactly.
We need this back.
We need it back. Also, avid Smash Brothers player. Like,
absolutely.
He's fun. He's fun. COVID Trudeau is fun.
COVID Trudeau, on top of that, he's sporty. Like, I don't even know who his main is, but when I first saw that he was an avid Smash player, I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, I voted for the wrong guy.
Yeah. And you don't vote for him.
I don't.
But COVID Trudeau?
No. Honestly, I would vote for COVID Trudeau.
So we need him back.
Also, what I want to combine that, because I know a bunch of people are reading one of these points being like, what the hell are you talking about, Myry? Look, here's the thing. Regardless of what you think about Justintrudeau, I have gotten the feeling in the last 1 to 2 years that he's like, I'm retiring after this. This is my last run. I'm retiring.
He is done. The majority of Canada thinks he's screwed up the country.
Even
on
though
top of that, he's
when you go through our pro-con list of all the prime ministers, you will see he didn't mess up the country the way the media would have you believe. Like, objectively speaking.
Objectively speaking, he really didn't, but that doesn't matter. A lot of people think he did, and he's admitted to making mistakes, which, by the way, puts him way above a lot of other people we've had, because he is openly admitted to over-immigration, which caused certain things. At least he can admit to it. But here's the thing. There's a difference between Justintrudeau sort of admitting to giving up and Justintrudeau going out with a blaze of glory.
Which is why I'm saying, Justintrudeau, take that energy, combine it with COVID Trudeau, and now be the 60-plus-year-old woman 2 weeks away from retirement. She says everything. She has no filter. She gives no shits. Why? Because what are they going to do to her? Fire her? She's retiring in 2 weeks. She don't give a shit. And that's what we need.
You know, COVID Trudeau with 60-plus-year-old women energy. I'm a wrestling fan. You can see it in my shirt if you're actually looking. D-Generation X right here. You want to know what COVID Trudeau plus 60-year-old retired women energy is? We're talking Stone Cold Steve Austin. I want that PM.
Yeah. Well, it is time. Look, we are talking about fighting against a party who is blatantly going against the fabric core of what Canada and Canadians are. We need to pull out all the stops. So, COVID Trudeau, get on back. And this I loved. You have your wonderful quote at the end that you want him to say every time he meets with Trump.
Yes. Because I think it would be 1,000% for however long Justintrudeau is still in office to say to Donald Trump or to address any sort of public media saying, we're sorry we can't do this on Canadian soil. One of us can't fly. Yeah. And I want that energy to seep into every other leader just to punish Trump.
Yes.
Ever so slightly to get him off his game, because you and I both know emotional Trump is fun Trump.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not saying fun in a good sense, because I saw your mind go, what the fuck did you just say? I don't mean fun in the good sense, but I mean, if we have to watch the world burn to the south, let us at least have some fun with it. I want the Justintrudeau that will say, now Donald, please note that any tariff you slap on Canada, Canada will slap back with a tariff that is 1% higher than yours. Yes. We as Canadians do not negotiate with convicted felons. This can stop the instant that you come on national TV, say you're sorry, say you made a mistake, and then we immediately negotiate CAMAS, a brand new free trade agreement that puts Canada and Mexico first. Mm-hmm. And you eating our dust, like you're supposed to be, like a good little felon.
Yep. That's what we want.
Yep.
We want COVID Trudeau back with the energy of a 60-plus-year-old woman 2 weeks away from retirement.
Oh, he'd be magic.
Yeah. Take no prisoners. Go out with a bang.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it, Justin, baby, sweetheart, baby. Okay, so your dad was Pierre Trudeau. Do you want to know what happened when he came back in the 80s? We saw Pimpin' Pete. Okay, we need Jumpin' Justin, take no prisoners, Trudeau. We don't need this dignified ban, because you've already screwed up in the eyes of some Canadians, okay? And when we say some, we mean millions. So go out there, wear your pip hat with pride, and give us the Canada we want, baby!
Yeah. Now, I know what everybody's thinking.
Yeah.
Why would Justintrudeau listen to us? Why would he be watching us? Well, we have two other solutions.
Why wouldn't he?
Other solutions. So, let's get into those.
Yeah, but this is on the off chance, right? The
On
off
the chance he does. The left needs to unite. I don't care if it's a merger. I don't care if it's coalition. We have seen time and time again when the votes are in, our votes are split on the left, which leads to a conservative-led government, whether majority or minority. And we can't have this happen this time because ever since Harper, and again, we go through this when we go through the prime ministers. In fact, we could do a whole 3-hour special on the rise of Christo-fascism.
Didn't we already kind of do that?
Yeah, we kind of do that. But
okay.
like, we're not talking out of our ass. We're not fear-mongering.
For those of you who don't have 3 hours to listen to our rant, just know that Harper is the equivalent of you, the crazy uncle you cannot have around anymore because you're afraid of what he will do to your children and your cats.
So what we're talking about is Liberals and NDP, get your heads out of your ass. So let's talk about Liberal and then we'll go into NDP, because NDP, we're not letting you off the hook.
No.
You pulled something that even Jack Layton stepped back from and was like, hey, I was wrong to do this. You decided to repeat it. Fuck you for not learning. Now then, Liberals, you need to actually train up your people as leader. I get it. You had Michael Ignatieff. You had, who was the other guy who they had before
Stéphane Dion.
Stéphane Dion. They weren't very charismatic. They couldn't work the camera. We get it. You needed somebody. Trudeau could speak well. He can be very charming to foreign leaders. He understands public policy as well as how to get good people who know more than him together. I get it. You needed him. But guess what? While he was leading, you should have been training up other people to have that level of charisma.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Sociability and charisma, like, I'll admit it. I'm an introvert. I'll admit that.
I'm an introvert as well.
Yeah. But it is a skill you can learn.
Yeah.
So you have no excuse for not having trained up people in the background to take over. Because
further to that, I mean, let's be honest, Trudeau's popularity has been tanking for the last few years. Yeah. Oddly
enough, when he got rid of his COVID Trudeau hair. I'm not saying that it's correlation and causation. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's a coincidence. It's a big coincidence. Just saying.
I'll have the balls to say it.
Yeah.
So basically, COVID Trudeau left us, and so did Justintrudeau's popularity. Did he make some decisions at the time that were iffy? Absolutely he did, but let's be honest, COVID Trudeau had charisma in spades. But as soon as Justintrudeau's popularity started tanking, that should have been your point. And if you started training people at that point in 2021 to take over, actually, the instant that the Liberals lost the majority in the 2021 election, that should have been the point where you started training somebody for succession. You do not wait. You have somebody training up that people admire, that people enjoy. Mm-hmm. By the time we get to the 2024, 2025, whenever Justintrudeau decides to retire, you have a plan of succession in place for your party. Say what you want about the Progressive Conservative Party. Win or lose, they had a plan for succession. Always. And whether or not it's a good plan or a Christo-fascist plan, it is a plan. And you can see it and you can feel it. Yeah. Perfect example. was the 2015 election after Harper was defeated. You saw the Conservatives building up the next.
Yep.
And it was basically a response to Stephen Harper's policies being too radical at the time. You brought in Andrew Scheer, whose policies were not all that radical compared to what Stephen Harper was trying to pull with the 2015 platform. You saw that there. It was built up over a couple of years. It was there. It was solid. It was good. And Scheer had a track record.
I should say we mean good as in for what they wanted.
Yeah, for what they want. And as much as we dislike PP, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
He got his rise to prominence in pretty well the same way. They had a plan should the Scheer plan fail to get them power. Mm-hmm. Is that they wanted to double down on the Christian values, on the traditional conservative values, even though they aren't, and you can see but that the fact remains, you've got PP, and now at this point in time, he is taking on people left, right, and center. And he is doing a very good job in terms of being public, in terms of being that eloquent, hard-hitting speaker that the Conservative Party wants him to be. Mm-hmm. Like that, this is the nicest I can say about PP and the Conservatives. At least they have a plan. They will always have a plan going forward for succession. And you watch in 7-8 years when the political landscape shifts again, they will have a plan, whether it be to go further to the right or a more centrist Conservative Party. They will have that plan in place. I don't believe the Liberals will. I think Justintrudeau kind of fell into their lap, and they did not learn.
No, and like I said, I've been talking to some people, and they can rhyme off, these great federal liberal. We should emphasize we are talking about federal
yes.
level. If you didn't get that already, like liberal MPs and members who are like very qualified, know their stuff, all of these other things, and I'm like, yeah, but they can't talk publicly.
No, they can't.
They can't handle talking unscripted. They're gonna flop in a debate, or they aren't very quote unquote camera ready. They aren't, like, we are in an age where you need to have someone who looks the part and can on the spot improvise. It is
Absolutely.
a skill. It is a skill to improvise that way. So, that was a skill that could have been built up. Because I don't think anybody, no party is going to end up with a Chrétien era again. I don't think.
No.
I think 50, 80 years needs to pass before something like that happens again. So guess what? When you have your leader, you need to be training up others. You need to pick your key people who on paper are great, and then you have to make them great visually and on a camera and everything like that. Public speaking and things like that. And is it a tall order? Is it tough to do? Yeah,
absolutely.
But you got to do it if you want to survive.
10,000% necessary.
Now, I bet you're wondering, because I leave these points up because we talk a lot. We use our slide decks as point reminders, so you can read ahead, and you're probably thinking about, hey, how come Think of Canada First is on both of them? We'll get to the NDP side. But for Liberal, it has a lot to do with politics is not a sports game.
No.
These are not teams. Politics is for the people, for the majority of the people. The majority of the people are not companies or employers. The majority of the people are employees.
Yes.
The majority of the people need their universal health care. They need solid public education. If anything, we need to be adding vision and dental to our universal health care in a lot of different, just standard. Because it varies province to province what you have. There are certain things that are base, and one of those things is fundamental human rights. You've heard us say it before, we're saying it again. as enshrined in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms in Canada. Our Constitution is much different from the U.S. Constitution, so I
Yes.
do encourage you to read it. But when we're talking about our rights as people, you need to look at the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. It is landmark legislation. A shit ton of our laws are based on it. And when you consider when it arrived, it's quite young when you compare it to other countries.
Now,
So this is what I mean when I say, when you're seeing people coming, like you're seeing, I disagree with not voting as a form of protest. I will say, when you're dealing with the fact that so few the voter turnout is dropping, we've got increased apathy, and we've got an increased number of very vocal people who are believing lies and who are wanting to infringe on the rights of others. It's no longer about party loyalty. It's about the Canadian people.
absolutely.
It's about creating a society in which we all have the freedom to be who we are without encroaching on each other's human rights. And
Absolutely.
that's what I mean is liberals, Chrétien era is never going to happen again. And like I said, I don't think it's going to happen for any party again until for at least 50 to 80 years. We're going to be gone by then. Let's be honest here. That's why. Because the people who remember are going to be gone.
You know, fish head soup. Fish head soup doesn't keep you very well nourished.
Exactly.
And
But-
I think to the point, if we were going to look at this the other way too, if we were going to look at the right side, the Conservatives, the People Party of Canada, what have you, I think of Canada First would be on all of their slides, because at the end of the day, what are politicians but to serve the will of the people?
Mm-hmm.
That is why we have a parliamentary system in place, primarily to serve the whims of the people, not a select few.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we as a society need to step back and fully realize, you and I are 2 out of, 33 million?
Yeah.
33 million voices that we have to account for, and we have to make sure that we protect at any given rights. Like, we can look out there, and I know in my small town of 8,000, to even get a 1-bedroom to rent is $1,600 a month. How did it get that way? How can we even afford to live as people?
Yeah.
That is one of those things that, again, we need to take a step back. We need to think of Canada first, not Canada as a world stage, not Canada as an image, not Canada as a burning society that needs to be saved. We need to look at this and realize that we've got 33 million people, and a majority of those people are hurting right now.
Yeah.
And we need to bond together in that sense. It's not an issue of calling a policy a scam or a tax holiday as a tax scam. It's not an issue of Canada looking good on a world stage anymore, because the majority of people don't care what Canada looks like on a world stage if they're trying to figure out where their next meal is coming from. And I think we have to take a look at that as a party, as a country, and look at it. What does that really mean for us, one way or the other?
Exactly. And that's what we mean when it's like, get your head out of your ass. This is beyond party now. This is
absolutely.
We are a world in. I'm speaking from a Canadian perspective, so I should say we are a country in crisis, but it is a crisis that isn't easy to quantify because there isn't a bad guy. This isn't World War II. We can't point to the Nazis right now. Yep. We can't point to like we're gonna all come together and go against this one thing. We can't point to that right now. This is a little bit more complex for a lot of people to understand.
Yep.
But we have to think that way.
There is no black and white. There are only shades of gray and one shade of orange. So realistically, we need to take a look, recognize ourselves as people, recognize ourselves as brothers, sisters, non-binary peoples, and recognize that we're all trying to navigate this world, and how can we best do it together.
Exactly. The next point, I loved your phrasing. So this is Crabsworth phrasing, 100%.
Yeah.
Bringing schoolyard logic to a schoolyard fight, and I think you're going to do the best job of explaining this.
If you guys have seen Question Period, it is supposed to be dignified, civilized debate. It is very clear to someone who is watching that you are trying to turn it into a sports ball. It is not a sports ball. You have one party right now that is doing a damn good job of making it a sports ball. You have another party that is trying to be dignified whilst also trying to be a sports ball. You may not be dignified if you are looking to try to make sense to your voter base who are now expecting sports ball. Basically, what is happening right now, if you are the Liberal Party, if you are the NDP Party, if you are the Bloc Québécois, if you are any party under the sun, you are looking at what the Conservative playbook is. And it's basically, if you go on a schoolyard playground fight, everybody's heard these phrases, everybody's seen these phrases. Everybody's trying to make it look like a liar, a con artist, a scam, a thief. Every sort of debate now is becoming unwatchable for somebody who wants to learn about policy because of all the incessant hooting and, I don't even know, ogling of the women's lack of cleavage. I don't know. But it's incessant hooting.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Isn't it weird how the Conservatives went from fuck Trudeau to now complaining about the lack of women's cleavage? Like, what do they want? I don't get it.
I don't know.
Like,
well,
do you want him?
Look,
Do
it's,
you not want him? Like, who are you after now?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Myry. I don't know. But if you want to get into that argument, we definitely can. Because when you look at COVID Trudeau, he was hot. Every Conservative wanted him. Every Liberal NDP wanted to be him. Donald Trump's daughter was like, I want to leave you, Jared. That is my hubby now. And I mean, now she's got her chance. She won't even leave the United States. But trying to get this thing back on topic now.
Yes, but here we go.
Logic has devolved.
Yes.
And certain things that Canadians have used to understand where their parties are at have devolved into shouting matches with incessant hooting and bitching about cleavage. I don't know how it got to that point, but here is the thing. If you are still trying to see that this is somehow higher culture, it is not. And if you are looking to spark a debate, you have to bring schoolyard logic to a schoolyard fight. If you are, let's say, hearing things about how your prime minister is a liar, a thief, a scam artist, should be locked up, you can go around and attack the values of the other one. It's eye for an eye. It's basic schoolyard fight. Hit above the belt until you've been hit below the belt. Then all bets are up.
Look, everybody talks about you have to take the high road, you have to take the high road. Well, no, some people don't learn unless you get in the mud.
Yeah, you have to take the low road to take the high road sometimes. The low road is not a bad place to be. You can get to Scotland by taking the low road before somebody taking the high road. To that end, the Speaker of the House, for the love of God, remember your rules. Because we have seen mudslinging from all sides, whether it be Liberal, NDP, Conservative, Bloc Québécois, what have you, that are directly against the House rules that you need to enforce as a Speaker of the House. Right now, you're a Liberal Speaker of the House. There are a lot of language that would get Conservative MPs thrown out. There's languages that could get Liberal NDP thrown out. If you want to continue to take the high road, you need to take the low road here. Kick all those people out. Make them understand parliamentary procedure. That is your primary function, instead of just sitting there waiting for your next check to come. For the love of God, you have power. Use it. For the love of God, use it.
Prime example was the homophobic comments being sent over to Justintrudeau. It was like, I couldn't see who said it. I couldn't see who said it. Great. Anyone who was standing up and yelling, kick him out.
Yep, exactly.
Kick him out. If you want to make it even, personally, I don't think Justintrudeau did anything by saying the comments were homophobic. He didn't call anybody homophobic. He said the comments were. And I'm like, fine, if you wanted to split hairs, you could have kicked him out for saying the word crap. But he also apologized for that on the record.
But
like I said,
seriously,
it's hit a
you
point,
could have done that.
Yeah, it's hit a point where it's like, guess what? Everybody was standing up and fighting. Get out. It's everybody
kick them all
on,
out. The question period's
over.
Ice,
brawling, get off the ice. It's the same rule.
Exactly. I can't believe you made a sports reference, but it's damn sure appropriate. Here's the thing. When Todd Bertuzzi back-checked Steve Moore, I'm dating myself by about 20 years as a hockey fan, Bertuzzi got suspended for a year. Steve Moore never played again, and many people who were fighting after the incident got suspended or thrown out. And it's something that is just, if you want to try to have civility, that's how you do it. You use the power that are enshrined by the role in order to keep order. Yeah. I can't imagine some of the comments that were made that you're talking about, the homophobic comments, that would not be focused, that would not mean warrant a throw out or warrant and cutting short of the meeting.
Let me put it this way. If you were expecting school children not to do that in class, or, if somebody does it, they're going to have to talk to the teacher or the vice principal or the principal, depending on what was said. These
are our world leaders.
You need to show the same level here.
I'm
like, you don't know who said it? Guess what? Everyone get out. Everyone's out now. We will return after we've had a freaking cool off. I don't care. But that's the level we've hit now.
Yeah.
Now for the pandering. And
go ahead.
I did pandering on the Liberal side because you did pandering on the NDP side. Bring back
we're bringing
the cat sanctuary. Bring it back. Harper, for all of his, he's so good with cats. He's so great with cats. You know what he got rid of?
I'm so good with cats.
Renovations on Parliament Hill. He got rid of the frickin' feral cat sanctuary. Guess what? It's on the side. It's out of the way. You can get into Parliament. If you have allergies, you can completely avoid those cats. If you want to see the cats, you have to seek them out. So if you want to pander to me, bring back the cat sanctuary. God damn it! I want to know the ferals of Ottawa are being taken care of. I want to know that we're following our trap neuter release program. I want to know that they're getting food with anti-rabies medication. God damn it, guys. That's it. Now then, NDP, because you're not getting off light here. I do recognize that there are other left of center parties.
These are just the main two.
These are the main two. Also, we're not going to talk about the Green Party because that's a 3-hour conversation about their rise and very stark fall that happened in 2020. It was quite interesting.
2020, when May said oops.
Yeah. Anyway, NDP. So, stop trying to go for power over sense. So,
for the love of God, stop.
Jack Layton's misstep, and we do talk about it in our full series, but that comes up a bit later, so I'll briefly mention it now. At the time that we had Harper, we had Jack Layton, we had Paul Martin, and Chris Shan, because there's some overlap there that we don't want to talk about. I was in an incredibly NDP household, very, very NDP household, and when Jack Layton said he was going to support Harper to, I believe it was a vote of no confidence to the Liberal government, that completely threw everything out the window. My family was like, you, especially my mother. My mother is very, very well-read. Don't guess it by how she talks. She's incredibly well-read. She was like, the things Harper has said, and some of it's truly disgusting if you get into it, is so blatantly against the core values of the NDP I cannot understand why Jack Layton would shake hands with that man. And to be fair to Jack Layton, he walked it back, and he did realize that it was a mistake to have said he was going to do it and all this other stuff. So, but we're not talking about that right now. Polvier, PP, however you want to call him.
PP.
His quotes and stuff that he said personally, stuff in his platform, stuff in the mandate, are worse than what Harper has said on record.
Yep.
And you would think the NDP as a party would have learned from like the Jack Layton thing, because I don't for a second think that my household was the... By the way, I was not old enough to vote. Full disclosure. I do not think I was in the only household that when that happened, Jack Layton was like, screw you, I can't trust you as a party anymore, to the NDP. I don't for a second think I was the only one. So the fact that they would do that says, again, to someone worse at such a critical point in world history, is like, why? And the only reason why is because they want power from the Liberal Party.
Yep.
And that doesn't make sense, because if any party is going to push forward an NDP platform, it's going to be the Liberal Party. The Conservatives don't give a shit. They've been proved to lie. They have been. We've seen them lie. Like, what was it? Harper simply avoided the abortion debate because to them, Canada was ready to have that debate again. But now, with what's going on in the States, Canada is certainly ready to have it again. And that's just one example of bodily freedom, bodily autonomy debate. That's also, if you know your history of abortion in Canada, it is viewed as a medical, rightly so, a medical procedure. Because remember, abortion includes miscarriage and stillbirth. A lot of people forget that. Medically speaking, abortion includes stillbirth and miscarriage. Stillbirth and miscarriage are types of abortion. They are not separate things. There is so much history with Quebec and having that as an inalienable right. You're alienating the Francophones. You're alienating a lot of people here by doing that. And that's just one thing as well, where I'm like, NDP, what are you talking about? You know what they're going to do. In addition, Jagmeetsingh, you are a visible minority. You know what they want to do to visible minorities. What are you talking about? You know what they want to do to people who are disabled, and you're supposed to be this bastion for disability rights. What are you doing? And the only thing that makes sense is they want to go for gold, and I'm sorry, it ain't gonna happen.
They don't have the numbers.
No, and
especially after doing something like this, they're not going to get the numbers.
No.
I have been a stalwart NDP supporter since I first got the right to vote. Stalwart NDP, you can mention that I voted orange every single time I've chosen to vote, which is every single time I've been able to vote. And so I remember the question period where I saw Jagmeetsingh start to go against the Liberal policy. I can remember sending it to you and just saying WTF. Because I have been a staunch supporter of the NDP since before I could vote. I enjoyed Jack Layton's policies. I thought they were, and still are to this day, the best policy platform that potential Canadian federal politics has ever seen. Again, we're talking federal here, we're not talking provincial. That's an entirely different can of worms. But here's the thing. Jagmeetsingh going against the Liberal Party in a bid for power seems like such an anti-leftist move that it's got me questioning whether or not I even want to vote for them. I even want to support them going forward. Like I say, I have never voted for a winning horse, and I can damn sure guarantee in this election I'm probably not going to vote for a winning horse either. But I don't know if that winning horse is going to be orange that I back.
And once again I say, when we talk about the Jack Layton incident, he did walk it back.
Yeah, he did walk it back.
And I'm like, the situation is worse and more dire now than it was then, which is hard to believe.
And you're still not walking it back.
Yeah, and I don't get it. I really, really sincerely don't get it.
No. Unless you know that you have the numbers, this makes no sense.
Yeah.
And there is nothing telling you that you have the numbers.
No. Once again, this does lead into think of Canada first.
Yes.
Stop making it a power struggle, guys. Like, come on.
We've talked about Canada first before, but at the end of the day, if you are Jagmeetsingh and you are siding with a party that has gone on record very truthfully and stated, these are the policies we support, these are the policies that we are against, and they are against people of visible minorities and disabilities, things that you have championed. Have you not thought about the millions of people who are visible minorities, who have disabilities, who are looking to you as a beacon of support?
Guys, this isn't War of the Roses.
No.
That's not what this is. We are looking at trying to maintain the separation of the public sphere and religion.
Absolutely.
And in addition to that, like, we also should be separating corporation from politics. And I have my own ideas.
10,000%.
I have my own ideas on how to do that and what we should be doing, but it would mean a complete overhaul of the funding system as we know it. I personally am like, fuck it. No, if you're campaigning on public access. That's what you're doing. That's what everybody's doing. It's public
equal time per major party, and you can decide what a major party is. But that makes sense. So we're looking at this. Remember where you can from, and some people may say that's a spelling error. Some people may some people. Just hang on a second. Let me try to walk this back here. So remember where you can from. Now some people may think that's a spelling error. I happen to take a look at that and think we can be better. We can rise up from the ashes. We can build a better society, whatever that society may be. Every potential Canadian has the ability, or other words, can do better if they remember where we can from. Think about it. Our universal healthcare did not come into effect without us being at a point of absolute sorrow and pain. We came from sorrow and pain. The thing is, we have to remember that we can go back there if we are not careful with our policies that can protect everything else. Remember where we can from, because if we can't, then our basic fabric of life completely goes up in smoke. Remember where we can from, folks.
And what I want to say is talking about training people up as leader. Crabsworth here is an admitted introvert. Saw that spelling mistake and just delivered one of the most inspirational minute-long speeches I've ever heard. So, yeah, it is a fucking skill you can learn.
Yeah. Stop repeating the bad, obviously, links back to the Jack Layton thing again, so I don't think we have to go over it too much. But I think in general, and this is for all political parties, regardless of where you stand on the political spectrum, you've all done things that you regret as a party. You've all done things that would have hundreds upon thousands upon millions of Canadians whose lives would actively get worse. That could benefit a select few, or or maybe not benefit people at all that are currently around. But we need to remember what those mistakes are. Those who forget our histories are doomed to repeat it.
And now for the pandering point.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Jagmeetsingh, in 2021, when the federal election was called, decided to divert a bunch of his funding to driving a poutine truck around Canada. There is no more Canadian dish than poutine. If you want to ingratiate yourself into the Canadian public, there is nothing better than some gravy, some cheese, and some good old-fashioned Canadian fries. You want to put Canada first, you bring back the truck of gods!
Oh, I love it. I love it. But yeah, so either merge it or do a coalition, but please do something. And
Yes.
at the end of the day, get your heads out of your ass.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure everybody here is like, oh, you've forgotten about the bloc. You've forgotten about the bloc. No, we have not.
we didn't.
We
Oh,
did
no, we
not.
didn't.
That brings us to option 3. The bloc needs to cock-block the conservatives. So, that means candidates everywhere. I don't give a shit. Get a body. They're not fully bilingual. Who the fuck cares? You're everywhere now.
You need to be. I don't think the slide deck has changed, at least it hasn't on my screen. But if it has on
for
yours,
me.
and if it has for the rest of the people, all I can say is Yves-François Blanchet, if you have not seen him as a leader, he does not give a damn. He is by far the most eloquent member of any political debate he has been in by simply not giving a crap and knowing that in his current state, in the bloc's current state, it is a farce. I want to know the instant that I decided to say to Myry, if I could vote, I would vote for this man. I actually want to send this out there because I still believe this. The instant that I wanted to say screw the NDP, I want to vote for this man, is when he cock-blocked the Conservatives by agreeing to support the Liberals to stay in power on the motion of no confidence.
Yep.
Because basically he came in, he waved his little finger, he pointed at them and said, "Not today."
And here's the thing. Bloc. We know you want to make people proud.
Yeah.
We know. We know you want to. You know. Hashtag cockblock. It's in your name. We know you want to do it. Go frickin' national. Go big. Go home. I mean, heck. You can put our names on the ballots for the middle of nowhere. We'll take it. We're
I'll
fine
run.
with
What
that.
the heck? Vote for a penguin. Save the Quebec.
Yeah. Like, it's do or die right now, guys.
Look, here's the thing. You're a Quebec Nationalist Party, I get it. You're Quebec first, I get it. Totally, I actually believe that Canada should follow your lead. But if you want to have a referendum, not only do you need to have the public support, but you need to have enough support in Parliament to enable to make that happen. How do you do that? By simply expanding out your reach to non-Quebec. To French-speaking individuals, to English-speaking sympathizers. Hell, to the people who say get out, like I've seen on every comment board of every video the Bloc Québécois have ever released.
Yeah. Do it, guys. We need
Do it.
to end the fascist train now, before it starts.
Do it.
Now, we do have one more option. And I'd say this is more of a Hail Mary than even COVID Trudeau.
Look.
And let's look at, I know I said, we have 3 options. Well, no, we have a 4th one.
It is a damn good option.
Yeah, so I'm gonna...
And it is extremely sexy, and it is extremely sexy, okay? Listen,
I
here's
don't
the
know,
thing
the slide
about
says
proportional...
it's the least sexy option.
You put that in there and said it was the least sexy option. It is the most sexy option.
I only report on what's in the slide.
Okay, look, all I can say is, look, you thought you'd cream over COVID Trudeau. Can you imagine how much you'd cream if every single vote counted? Proportional representation. You want to curb voter apathy? And it doesn't even have to be in Canada. It can be United States. It could be anywhere. If you want to curb voter apathy because voter turnout is at a record high 60%. If you want to capture all those voices that need to capture, simple. Proportional representation, people. You vote for the party. They have their representatives. They choose where people go. But you vote for the party that aligns with your values in your area and make sure that it actually counts, regardless of whether or not you get the person in your area that you want. You know that your vote has made a difference. It's worked in countries who have tried it, and it will work here. Can you imagine what our elections would look like with an 85, 90, 95% turnout? Oh, it makes the creaming that you did over Trudeau look like Niagara fucking Falls in comparison. Like Trudeau, he's just a little lake. Niagara Falls cream is proportional representation. So I vehemently go against that whole least sexy option because it is the sexiest option in the history of sex.
Now, there's also another...
I'm getting hard just thinking about it.
Yeah. I'm not saying this is an option instead of proportional representation, but another idea that has been knocked around is proportional representation with a ranked ballot.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to explain ranked ballot to the people?
It's simple. So ranked ballot would be you would vote for the parties that you would want in power in your area. Let's say, for simplicity's sake, there are 5 parties, and you laughed the Green Party out of existence. So, let's say number 1, you want the NDP in power. Number 2, you want the Liberal in power. Number 3, you want the Conservatives in power. Number 4, People's Party of Canada. Number 5, Green Party, because you laughed them out of existence. Those votes are tabulated. Your vote would still count for NDP. But if enough of your people, let's say, for example, if there's a chance of a sort of dissent, if there's not a clear winner, they would go to the next option, and they would have to use that when picking their representatives in a ranked ballot too. If NDP had already used up all their positions, but there are a couple of number 2 Liberals, the Liberals have used up all their number 1s to put their people there, they would then go to that number 2.
Mm-hmm.
So your rankings matter. Your votes still count the same way in proportional representation. The ranked ballot is just to make sure you don't have a People's Party of Canada person in a predominantly, let's say, Liberal area. Or you don't have an NDP person in a conservative area.
So, I know what everybody's thinking. Why do you consider this to be a larger Hail Mary than getting Trudeau back? And it's quite simple, because parties only ever want it when they've lost.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this, again, we're going back to, guys, you got to get your head out of your ass. It's what is right for the country. And it's kind of like, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I don't know if voter reform was stopped because Trudeau stopped it, or because his party was like, no.
I actually do know it was the Liberal Party on a majority. I happen to know that one.
Yeah. So it was because of the party. But once again, I say, look at the facts. You are most likely not getting a majority. You're probably not even going to get a minority in the next election. Do what's right for the people. Get your head out of your ass and change it now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what else to say, but once again, it goes back. But this is why
it is a landmark change. It is a Hail Mary, but it is sexy as fuck.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, parties only want it when they've lost. It's the same with the Conservatives. The Conservatives have only ever wanted voter reform when they've lost.
Yeah.
And it's stop trying to be in power, do what's right for the people. All right. On that note, woo!
Oh, proportional representation. You are so sexy.
Big thank you to everybody.
Especially Jerry from Kazakhstan.
Always sharing Kazakhstan. We really hope that this has either united you with or against us, informed you, so a neutral holiday for you, or has sparked debate that you have now sat back and eaten popcorn to watch because you didn't have to instigate it, you just had to play this.
Have a holly jolly Christmas, your table's burning now. You don't care if there'll be snow. Hey look, it's Papa's head! Wow! Have a holly jolly Christmas as you watch the world burn. Oh, by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas and burn.
All right, big thank you to everybody. Like I said, the main part of this series, How to Get Elected in Canada, is coming out through this month, through next month, and into February and spring 2025. In spring, that's when we get to the fun stuff. Yeah, and just like I said, be informed, people, and at the end of the day, let us get angry at your relatives for you, because we're happy to do that.
That's why we're here, folks.
All right, bye-bye, everybody.